If you like this video, hit that subscribe button. I put out new Storybook Brawl videos every single day at 9:30 p.m. EST, and turns out most of you guys aren't subscribed yet, so what are you waiting for? I'm a pretty small channel, so I do also pay a lot of attention to comments and likes, so let me know what type of content you guys want to see. Enjoy the video. What is up, everybody? I'm NoLucksGiven, and today we are going to be rounding out 2021 with my best game of Storybook Brawl from the year. In this video, I'm going to win Storybook Brawl. I'm going to do the thing, and if you don't already know what the thing is, then we've got a treat for you coming. This is a really sweet video that really showcases Celestial Tiger pretty well and just really does some fun and wacky things in Storybook Brawl. In this first shop, we went ahead and locked the Cinderella plus the 4 Glory, and that's because grabbing Cinderella early on Celestial Tiger is really strong, allows you to get an early tier 2 treasure, which is doubled, and there are a lot of really powerful tier 2 treasures once you double them, but first among them is generally going to be Locked Chest, and Locked Chest is going to allow us to pick up an early Black Prism, and with an early Black Prism, we're going to be able to do some pretty zany things. So there's a little bit of a teaser, if you can imagine what some zany things are that you can do with Black Prism. You know what, it's probably all spoiled in the thumbnail anyways. We picked up the For Glory just to trigger off the Cinderella, but we actually wind up winning the combat there. We did have the Sherwood Sure Shot, and we were up against somebody that had lost their previous combat, so we did have a decent chance to be able to win that one. But we'll grab a Shrink spell here, so that way we are halfway through our Cinderella, and then I'll buy Baby Dragon and a Humpty Dumpty. And I'm going to sell this crafty because it's only a 1/1 crafty on the old patch. That will allow me to buy and sell the Unicorn, and then just buy the Goat, just so that way we can clear out the entire shop. Pretty good to be able to pick up a Humpty Dumpty here as well. One thing that is always a lot of fun is picking up an Easter egg or two on Celestial Tiger, because that just gives a ton of stats, because that is also doubled. It's considered a tier 2 treasure. So we will, we're pretty happy to field this board, but unfortunately my opponent has a pretty big board too from their Potion Master, so we are going to lose our Humpty Dumpty, but we are going to win the battle. So we will stay at 40 health here for a little bit longer, and that is pretty sweet. From here, Eeny Meeny seems like a pretty good pickup. We've got a decent chance. I mean, I'd really like to hit the Stag or the Ogre Princess, but we've got 3 different 3-drops in the shop. I'm thinking about, like, could I buy and sell something, but there's not really a great way to do it. We're going to wind up getting a Tweedledee, which is also the pre-buffed Tweedledee, of course, because it's only a 3-cost unit. So, yeah, like I said, this video is on the previous patch. This will be my last video from this patch on this channel. And starting tomorrow, all of my videos will be on the new patch for the new year. But this game was too sweet. I really felt like I had to build up to it and end the new year on this video. It was still in this month, this season, but it's just a really fun one, so had to share that with you guys here. The Stag is going to get to attack. Luckily, it didn't get sniped, and that should be good enough to just win the combat. Buffed up Sherwood Sure Shot is really strong, and that is going to be just about enough. We'll have the Tweedledee there as well, and that has a 2/3 inside of it, so it wasn't that close. We can take a Spinning Gold here to complete Cinderella, and then we can pick up a pair of Dwarves. That seems like it'll be a pretty good board, and then we'll put Cinderella back on the board. But when we buy this Spinning Gold, we are faced with a Locked Chest, which is the best treasure that Celestial Tiger can grab, like I said, because when it hatches in 3 turns, you don't get 1 tier 3 treasure, you get 2 tier 3 treasures. And both of those are doubled because you're Celestial Tiger, so you can get some really powerful treasures out of that. It's so much more powerful than a normal locked chest because you're getting twice the amount of treasures, but then both of the treasures that you get out of it are also doubled. I do feel like we've got a pretty strong board here once we pick up the Fanny and the Doubly. So yeah, it feels like we're doing good. I'll talk a little bit more about locked chest and one of the reasons it is so busted. And that's because if the first treasure that you get on the locked chest is a treasure map, which makes your next treasure 2 levels higher, well, with Celestial Tiger, it makes your next treasure 4 levels higher, and then you open up your next tier 3 treasure, and you've got a tier 7 treasure that you got off of your Cinderella, which is just pretty insane. We are unfortunately going to lose this combat to a Humpty Dumpty. So a little bit unfortunate, but we're not going to get the spinning gold. But you know what? We've got a tier 7 treasure on the way. So that is pretty sweet. Of course, I don't know that there is a tier 7 treasure coming. So I am just going to play and try to make some other sweet things happen. We're going to pick up another Humpty Dumpty because maybe we can still make that work. And then nothing really here. But this shop gives us a baby dragon and a Tweedledee, 2 different pairs. Because I already have the locked chest, I don't really want the baby dragon triple. It's okay. There's still some other good tier 2 treasures that you can get. We've seen in the past I've made good things work with Fairy Tale, Monster Manual. Those can be really powerful tier 2s when you are doubling them. So I do consider selling the Humpty for the baby dragon. Honestly, probably should have just sold the goat here and picked up the baby dragon. I think that would have been fine, but we're just going to go for the Tweedledee. There are some really strong tier 3s that we can find as well, and I also don't know that I'm going to be getting a tier 7 off of this locked chest, so one strong thing to do is also look for another treasure map from combining tier 3s once we already have the locked chest here. So I'll just roll, not pick anything else up on this one, and we'll see what we can do next turn. That happy little tree is going to be decently tough to battle through. But we do have a buffed up Sherwood Sure Shot. I think we're going to go down on this one to the Queen of Hearts here as well that my opponent has in the background. That is pretty big. Cindy's going to trade with a wolf, yeah, and then Queen of Hearts will take us down. So we'll take 9 damage down to 24. We're falling off a little bit here. We're down in the bottom 4 of the lobby. And then we see a pair of baby dragons, so might as well pick it up. We decided not to last turn, but if the game wants to give it to us, well, then I guess we'll have to take it. I'm going to take Dragon's Nest here. I know that I just mentioned Fairy Tale and Monster Manual as being really strong tier 2 treasures, but Dragon's Nest immediately gives us +10/+10 on the board, and is another fun one that I like to pick up with Celestial Tiger. It means that you can kind of mess around and do other silly things because you have this treasure that's giving +10/+10 to some of your units. So now I can maybe look a little bit harder for the treasure map or, Hat Ball or something if I get 1/2 of Hat Ball from the locked chest. So just taking the Dragon's Nest for the temporary stats. Didn't have any monsters until I sharded and... yeah, just sharded and created a big nasty Minotaur, a steaming pile of Minotaur there on my bench. Anyways, again, don't really have any interest in picking up the Sherwood Sure Shot or that steaming Minotaur there. Because we already found the best tier 2 treasure and now we're looking for some tier 3s. Next turn we're going to get 2 tier 3 treasures, so I have to be thinking also that I'm probably replacing this Dragon's Nest relatively soon, and for that reason I also really am not interested in the Monster Manual or the Fairy Tale, just because they're going to be able to get replaced. We're going to get some new stuff pretty soon. This is a pretty interesting combat. It winds up being pretty close, but as long as we can avoid getting the Sherwood Sure Shot attacked too much, yeah, we get to tie it, so that's really sweet. We stop taking more damage here. Myself and Galahad are down at the bottom of the lobby, so We both get to hold onto our health points a little bit, and you can see there my first treasure was treasure map. I talked about it a little bit beforehand because I clicked it so quick. I was just really quick to click that one. Mirror Mirror is really strong, but there is not too much that you can do with it this early in the game. So we're going to go for Black Prism. We've got a Mix-a-Whizzle in the shop, so we're going to Mix-a-Whizzle our entire board, and then we're going to look for a True Love's Kiss to level up our board again. And if we can do that, then we get to keep everything. So that would be really sweet. We're going to roll, and I was just planning on rolling for True Love's Kiss this turn, but if I can turn a Sleeping Princess into a Crystal Ball, Crystal Ball is just extremely powerful for us here alongside this Black Prism. Also, a hat would be reasonably powerful. Got to do a lot of pausing in this video to explain a lot of what's going on because there's just so many decision points happening so quick. Eye of Aries will give all of both players plus 10 attack, so it makes it pretty likely that you are just going to be able to tie all of your combats going forward, which again is going to do well just to buy us some time, and I think that's going to make Eye of Aries decently powerful here. But one thing that I totally missed in game, just because this is the first turn that I picked up the Black Prism, I should be casting this Flourish here. It would give plus 7 health to all of my units. It would wake up the Sleeping Princess, and it would just all around be super powerful. Unfortunately, I do miss it, so we are just going to keep rolling. I was considering, like, okay, if we roll a little bit more, maybe we can still hit that True Love's Kiss, and that would still be really powerful, but we don't wind up doing so. We still get to play a pretty powerful board here, though. We've got a bunch of 10/20s with our Soul Tack, and then we also have Romeo and Juliet, and we've got a ranged unit. So honestly, I mean, my opponent has a ranged unit as well, and a Romeo and Juliet, but there is a decent chance that we can just win this because we're getting some positive battles here with our Soul Tacks. And yeah, with a ranged unit plus, oh, they've got Muerte'd Romeo plus Juliet. So that is actually going to, and they sniped the Lady of the Lake there. So that's going to make us tie. A tie, that's fine. We just tied the top player in the lobby, so don't feel too bad about that. However, we do lose basically our entire board because it was just a Mix-a-Whizzle board. So we do have to find something to do with this board again. We do get to keep the Sleeping Princess, though, and that is because we tripled it. So that's something interesting to know about Mix-a-Whizzle turns. We are playing up against the Ghost here, so I'm really going to take this time to try to find a Crystal Ball. Merlin's Test is a really powerful spell, though, and if I grab this Wizard's Familiar, that could be really sweet, because basically what's going to happen is this spell is going to cast... I shouldn't, I want to buy the pig first. Okay, so I buy the pig. This seems fine. We're going to put +4/+4 on that because we're playing up against the Ghost, and now I'm casting this Merlin's Test 11 times. So the Wizard's Familiar is going to get +15/+15. Looks like it even potentially got more than that, though. Looks like it got 16, right? Because it was an 11-1. So, yeah, I don't know how that happened. Maybe I'm just doing the math wrong. 11/4 is 15. I don't know. It happened 16 times. I guess there's something else going on that I am not totally thinking about. No, that doesn't make any sense. Oh well, we are going to get +16/+16 on the Wizard's Familiar, and just have a whole bunch more stats here against the Ghost. As long as we can avoid that baby dragon sniping our prized pig, we're going to have a little bit of extra gold going into the next turn as well. And now we are probably looking for Stags and Tweedledees, but you know what? Another Merlin's Test that gave us a bunch of stats last time, so we'll take another +17. No, that time it was +15 on the Wizard's Familiar. Okay, I'm not really sure how that works. But either way, we've got a huge Wizard's Familiar now. And we could consider doing similar things with Aeon. That would also be really sweet. Also, yeah, doubly grabbed a bunch of stats. We probably don't want to play the pig at this point because the... we're playing against a real player and we just want to make sure that we win. We can take somebody out of the game right now. I decide to not grab the Aeon because there are just so many ways that we could like transform the board, and 5 is just so expensive. So I'm going to roll past the Aeon, pick up another doubly here. I really want to try to find another tier 3 treasure, but it looks like we're going to grab another tier 2 treasure on our way there and pick up this pair of Wizard's Familiars. So I'll probably have to sell Sherwood Shoreshot next turn and pick up those. There's also a consideration for picking up the Friendly Spirit because extra stats on the Friendly Spirit could be really good because that will, be multiplied if we put those things on some other things as well. But for right now, we are doing okay. That Vampire is going to be pretty large, though. My opponent also has a bunch of ranged units, so we're going to take a little bit of damage. My opponent actually up to 14 health from this combat, so good for them. They gained a bunch of health on the way from just doing some Potion Master things. We're going to pick up these Wizard's Familiars, though, and I don't think we're going to take any of these treasures. I mean, Runestones is cute, but it'll mean that the next treasure that we get is 2 higher. But the thing is, I really want this crystal ball, so I'm going to skip through all of these treasures. I don't mind getting rid of the Eye of Ares, but let's just find a crystal ball here first. So we triple our triply, and from here we could take a power orb. I think this is fine too because the Dragon's Nest is basically on its way out. I also didn't bring this up, but I kind of want to get rid of the Eye of Ares. Part of the reason that we lost that last combat is because we gave plus 10 attack to all of my opponent's backline ranged units, and yeah, that can be tricky. But now we are going to pick up a crystal ball. We're going to drop the Dragon's Nest, and now we are doing some powerful things here. We are going to lose some power on the baby dragon, but we've got a bunch of power elsewhere. I'm going to sell both of these Tweedledees so that I can Merlin's Test and just throw a bunch more stats out on the board. And now with a 50-50 Wizard's Familiar, I am feeling pretty strong. I do think I will also backline this baby dragon, so that way we've got Stag in 2 attacking first again. Just like a few turns ago, we are now down to 6 units. Without a hat or an Aeon, our spells are expensive, so maybe we could have picked up the Aeon, but if we picked up the Aeon, it could have just been longer till we saw this crystal ball. So wanted to make sure that we picked that up, and now we're doing just fine. My opponent has multiple tier 6 units. They had a dragon and they had a green knight, but we've got some 50-50s. So we are doing much better than them here, and I'm feeling pretty good about where this game could go. So we basically want to be casting any targeted spells that we can find, and there's some really good ones that we can find too, like True Love's Kiss. So we're going to True Love's Kiss our whole board here, but before we do that, I'm going to pick up this Angry, because that will give us a tier 6 unit, and this winds up being a super important play because that tier 6 unit turns into a good boy. So this gives us a copycat good boy comp totally for free. So this is pretty silly. We also have a huge good witch because it used to be a Wizard's Familiar, and then we've got a pair of lightning dragons. So we'll pick up a health potion before we turn level 6. But this board just got a whole bunch more powerful. Now we probably don't want to be True Love's Kissing. We've just got Copycat Good Boy. So we just want to look for ways to buff up the Good Boy, maybe find some more Good Boys. The whole team's basically upgraded already, so we don't really need to focus on that. But yeah, I think we're pretty strong here, basically out of nowhere. And that's really just a result of the Prism being able to True Love's Kiss your entire board. I can't take any credit for this. I do like Copycat Good Boy, but it's I can't really take credit for this one. Our Lightning Dragons are going to do a decent amount of work here, clearing out my opponent's entire backline, and as long as we can avoid the Copycat getting attacked, that will be able to get in and pump the Good Boy and spawn 2 Tweedledums as well. So some pretty good stuff there, and that's going to allow us to hit Merlin for 18. So Merlin is out of the game, and now we're level 6. So now we can even find some more powerful treasures like an upgrade. An upgrade is pretty reasonable here, to be honest. I think there's some strong consideration for like buying this copycat, maybe even selling some things and then upgrading or locking the upgrade. But I'm just going to roll. So we are just going to roll past that one. I can take the Hercules here and cast the targeted spells on it. I think at this point I'm basically thinking like we're going to cast more spells on this entire board. We don't really need to worry about making the strongest board. Like at some point maybe you do stop and just take the powerful board for what it is. But for right now, I feel like we still have a little bit of a ways to go. And I don't want to cast Shard of the Ice Queen again. I don't want to shard myself once more because then we're removing the possibility of a bunch of good boy buffs. So we'll just play basically the same thing that we played last turn, and hopefully we can get the Hercules trigger. If Copycat attacks, it's plus 22, so we can make Hercules up to a 66, 68, which is just short of, being like 2/3, but it'll be 1/3 of the, or it'll be 2/3 in one hit, so it'll be 2 hits, and the Hercules gets us the treasure. I was thinking like if it gets hit once before the good boy buff and then once after, then that'll work. But unfortunately, it is not going to get buffed here. The Juliet is going to take it out, and we will still definitely have enough to win this combat, but it will mean that our we don't get our tier 6 treasure from the Hercules. We'd love to replace this power orb. That's not really doing too much for us right now, but that will not be happening yet. I do like this worm root, so I think I'm just going to pick up a monster here. I think I brought this up previously, but one thing that we could want to do is pick up a tree, pick up a monster, pick up a prince or princess, and that way we have targets for any of the spells that we could potentially run into. And then we see a Storm King, and this is pretty sweet. Storm King can grow pretty fabulously with the Black Prism here and the hat, and the ball. So I do want to grab this Storm King. It's just about how I want to grab it. And honestly, I'm thinking I'll just take this Forbidden Fruit. It is 2 more damage that we don't really need to take, but that's also +2/+2 on the Storm King, and you never know, those stats could be super relevant. I think it's probably a mistake to do so, but do I sell my Shadow Assassin? No. I'm pretty sure, yeah, I go for the Forbidden Fruit. It's a really tough call. I just purchased this Shadow Assassin so that we'd have a monster to cast spells on, and I'm not ready to let go of it this quickly. Could have just sold the Tweedledee, though. That would have been the play, or I guess the Queen of Hearts potentially, too. That's not really doing too much for us right now, but no matter, we've got a huge Storm King, and it looks like that alone is going to be enough for us to win this combat. And we do need a little bit more on this Hercules, but maybe we can get the treasure here. Nice. All right. We're able to get the tier 6 treasure on Hercules, so that is awesome. However, this is the turn where the thing happens. So we're going to see our tier 6 treasures pop up on the screen here, but right behind that Spear of Achilles, actually I might hide my treasures so that I can point it out. No, I just kind of mouse my cursor over it there. There is a crockbait in this shop. So we're going to be getting some tier 6 treasures this turn. We're going to be making some crazy things happen. Basically, I know that the only thing that I really want from tier 6 treasures is Wand. Everything else I'm going to hang on to. Maybe I'd also take Pandora's Box, but let's just do this. Let's skip this treasure, get 2 extra gold. Another croc spell pops up in the shop. We take the Wand of Weirding here. We can throw away the power orb, and then we get to skip another tier 6 treasure, and then we get to skip another tier 6 treasure. So that croc didn't even cost us any gold. That's pretty insane. We'll go for a Gigantify, and then we'll go for another croc. That's going to allow us to skip another tier 6 treasure. Pandora's Box is certainly tempting, but we don't want to do away with anything that we have. Then we roll and we see Copycat, and that looks pretty tempting. So I'm going to pick up a Princess Peep here just to spend my gold. Honestly, I should not be playing this Princess Peep. It could have actually hurt our board to play it because these sheep could have distracted from the things that we summon off the croc. I don't think it's going to be too big of a deal here, yeah, because we're going to be able to trade off with some of these sheep right now, but now we get into the crock of it all, and we've got an entire copycat good boy comp. Not an entire one. We were like halfway to a copycat good boy comp, but it's all inside of these crocs, and now we are just enjoying the game. We've got a golden copycat, this Storm King, and one really great thing about Storm King is it will continue to grow inside of these crocs. So that is pretty great for us and will allow us to do some good things. But also, like, we're just going to be getting kills on our opponents here. Killing them from 11 isn't that big of a deal, but how much damage are we actually doing? We're doing 23, so we wouldn't quite have killed Muerte with a hit of 23, but still really, really sweet. Now we're on to the top 3, and now we can maybe kill Muerte. Yeah, I think I'm just going to backline this Peep. Definitely don't want to shart at this point, but Beauty's Influence does seem great. Give everything a little bit more health. Magic can give everything just a little bit more stats. And again, we're growing this Storm King that lives inside of all of us here too. So that is pretty sweet. And then I think we will just roll, and I believe, oh, maybe we roll one more time. We don't want another croc. We can't do it. We've come so far. We don't need another croc bait. So we're just going to roll again, and oh, okay. I guess we don't get anything this turn. We could potentially just smite just to get a decent spell for the Muerte. I think that is totally fine. I don't even remember if I go for it here. Yeah, I didn't think that I did, but maybe I do. Okay, it's not super inconsequent, or it's not super important here. The important thing here is that we've got a copycat supporting 2 crocs, and inside of these crocs are more crocs, and then more crocs inside of that, and it's crocs all the way down. It's just a ton of fun. So we aren't able to make the smite. I guess one of the smite works, and that's probably why I didn't remember it, because it was blocked halfway by Soul Tack there, and we are going to get our copycat attack. So that's going to give us 3 additional crocs here, and each of these crocs has a bunch of stuff inside of them. This one's got a Good Witch and a Queen of Hearts, and then this croc, I believe, has a golden croc in it. Nice. And okay, yeah, this is just where the game gets mad. This one's got 2 lightning dragons and a good boy? No, a shadow assassin. All right, great. And shadow assassin actually hits a really good break point there. And then this croc has a copycat, which is awesome. The 214 Storm King and a Tweedledee. I don't really know. I have to look into if there's ways to like control what gets summoned out of these crocs. As far as I know, like as far as ordering your board and ordering what comes out of each croc in what order, but for right now we are doing fine, and we're gonna win this combat. Only hit Muerte for 16 down to 9, but we are super powerful. I don't think we should be casting the Hugify. I think we probably just want to roll. And for what, you might ask? Well, another copycat. We'll also take like additional stats and additional spells that we could cast on the rest of our crew here, but another copycat is going to be super sweet. So we are going to roll a little bit more, and then we see a good boy. And I really think about this one because my crocs are good, and my copycat is good. There's potentially, I mean, copycat good boy. Imagine if we had copycat good boy and then halfway through we spawn another copycat good boy comp. It would be pretty sweet. And for that reason, I do lock here momentarily, but we're not going to win this combat by making large units. We're going to win this combat by making a bunch of units. So I unlock the shop at the very last second because Good Boy really doesn't improve our board that much. Also, this chicken probably doesn't improve our board this much. I should probably take the chicken out. If that copycat hadn't have died, then we would be wasting some space on this golden chicken. And even so, we just wasted a space right there on the golden chicken. That could have summoned, actually that would have been our Storm King. So that golden chicken just took the place of our Storm King instead, which is a little bit unfortunate. We are going to get a copycat attack though again and spawn a whole bunch more stuff. So that's going to fill our front row with 3 golden crocs and a golden Hercules. So a bunch more units. Inside that croc is another croc. Hercules gets to trade off with something. And let's see, is this double dragon? No, this is copycat Storm King. Great. So yeah, we denied ourselves 1 Storm King earlier, but it still looks like we are beating this opponent by a considerable amount. We're going to spawn 2 more crocs here from the copycat supporting the croc. So honestly, yeah, it's probably fine, all things considered. We've got a full front line of golden crocs, each with different things inside of them, too. This one's got a good witch plus a queen plus a shadow assassin. This one's got a lightning dragon plus a lightning dragon plus a good boy. And then I believe that other 2030 croc might be the one with... Oh, no, this is double dragon croc again. Okay, so just a ton of everything. It's crazy. We won Storybook Brawl. That is basically the gist of it. It's crocs all the way down. Yeah, craziness. It's even silly a little bit to try to do somewhat coherent commentary over all of this, because this is not coherent. This is just ridiculousness. And we are going to take out the Gwen here with our Storm King, and now we just have final boss Muerte. Muerte was on 40 for a while, but it seems like we are starting to take them down here. Shrivel seems like it could be somewhat decent against this comp. Got decent chances to hit the Good Boy or the Echo Wood, both of which would be really powerful, and we don't really have much time either, so I'm going to go ahead and just cast this doubled Shrivel, and then we are going to roll a little bit. But I mean, yeah, this stuff is cute. We could grab some copycats, we could grab some more crocs. It would be nutty if we locked for that there. I'm going to grab this Cupid, but I don't play it. And the main reason for that is because I didn't want to mess up what we were already doing. And I think that winds up working out pretty well for us here. We will attack with the copycat. That's going to give us Herc plus double croc. And I believe that second croc there is what has the copycat in it. So yeah, seems sweet. Let's see, do we get a copycat out of this? Yes, we do. So that's great, and we've got a whole bunch of stats on everything else. Now this copycat will attack. That's going to summon Herc plus double croc yet again, and I believe our Herc is still currently what's attacking. All right, well, not if it's dead. Now copycat gets in, and now both of these crocs summon crocs. And that's doubled, but it can only happen once. Inside this croc is a golden croc. It's just crazy. It's crocs all the way down, and it is just a super, super powerful board. We haven't even gotten to the crocs yet. We haven't even gotten to my backline. Of course, my opponent's board is like pretty big. There's definitely a way that this can go wrong, especially if I keep attacking the Echo Woods. I really need to start attacking the Robin Woods because they're ranged units. And now we've got the Echo Wood in the front cleared at the very least. That copycat isn't going to trigger. Now we're going to get Good Witch plus Queen plus... Oh, there's the Good Boy. Okay, so the Good Boy's in that one. It's not alongside the Lightning Dragons. I couldn't quite remember. And I'm not sure if we're going to find out. It's probably in this video somewhere. But yeah, this is just a whole bunch of madness. There's a croc there. There's a Herc plus 2 crocs here. Let's get them out. Let's bring them out, guys, and do a little victory lap here. I don't think there's any way that my opponent can battle through all of this. You can see Echo Wood's now down to 40. This copycat could potentially attack again and summon even more stuff. Let's see, do we have more crocs in there? No, this is the Lightning Dragon pair plus something else. I don't even know, and we're not going to find out. Tweedledee gets to summon again. There we go. There's the Echo Wood. Croc attacks into Robin Wood. This one is Good Witch plus Queen plus Good Boy. So there we go, resummoning that. And now, what do we have? Good Witch to finish them off and win the game. So there you go. Absolutely craziness. Crocs all the way down from a level 4 Black Prism. So really powerful stuff here that we were able to make do with, and this is quite the selection of treasures as well, because not only when we were casting the spells were we casting them on everything, but we were casting them on everything twice, and was just able to make a ton of crocs, and we even had a crystal ball in there to just make some absolute madness happen. But I think that this is so funny as a final board. The chicken probably shouldn't even be in there. It probably just stopped us from spawning whatever that third unit was in some of those cases, but we were still able to have just a really powerful game, and part of that is just from the lock chest on Celestial Tiger, and part of that is just from going for it and being willing to cast a croc on an otherwise pretty well established board. That first True Love's Kiss got us to a pretty good spot, and then we're just like, all right, whatever, they're all crocs now, and we'll figure it out again a little bit later. So there you go, guys. Happy New Year. I was thinking about doing something, you know, when the ball drops or something like that with the crystal ball in this one, but I think that this game was zany enough that it was a good way to end the year without any thematic stuff going on too. All future videos are going to take place on the next patch as we get into the new year. We'll be looking at everything from the December patch, so a lot of sweet stuff still to look forward to, and that's going to be it for me for this one, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'm NoLucksGiven. Peace.